Hi guys and welcome to my channel. My name's Nicole if you're new here, and here on We Mama I do lots of motherhood, lifestyle, cleaning and organisational videos. So if you like that kind of content, I would love it if you could stick around and subscribe. Today's video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be a little book haul. Shop the other day. I popped into the Works and into a charity shop. This charity shop, I think it's a Sue Ryder one. This one does really lovely books and I found some absolute gems, so I thought I would share them with you. First up is this book called The Letterland ABC. Now, this book I used to have when I was a little girl. Ever since having children, I have thought about this book for the longest time. When I was little, I remember flicking through it. It basically focuses on characters who are a part of the alphabet. We have Hairy Hat Man and there's like Jumping Jack. And when I was little, this was a great help for me to learn my ABCs. Back in the 90s when I was, learning to read and write, we didn't have phonics that I remember of. But I think this is from the 80s. If I'm correct. Everybody is sporting very 80s style hairstyles and glasses, so I can only assume it's from the 80s. But yeah, I remember it very vividly and I used to love flicking through the pages. So for example, this is how it starts off. We've got Annie Apple and there's like a little story on this page and it says, Annie Apple is usually the first person you meet when you arrive in Letterland. Then in the picture, it has everything that begins with an A in that picture, such as apple, apple tree, ant, arrow, axe. And then there's Apron Man, and it just follows on like that throughout the book. We've got Bouncy Ben, who's such a busy rabbit, busy bouncing his ball and playing games and busy bouncing his words too. We've got Balloon, Bluebells, Bumblebee, Bridge, Boat, Buttercups, Ball. So it's just such a good way, I think, for children to learn letters, learn the shape of the letters. In a way, it is a good phonetic book. You can discuss the sounds of the letters, other things that link to that letter and sound. So I am so happy that I found this. I started looking for it online. I couldn't find it anywhere. It's obviously discontinued from a very long time ago. And I found it on Amazon for about £40. And I bid on one on eBay the other day. I think that I started it off with an £8 bid and it went up to £55. So I found this in the charity shop for a good old 50p and I literally could not, can you see this grin? I was so chuffed to find this. I was so happy, definitely. Just so happy that I found this. I cannot wait to sit and read this with Didier and Nina and we can just go through all the letters. Very happy with this. Next on the charity shop for 75p, I picked up this Winnie the Witch Treasury. So it's 3 stories of Winnie the Witch. If you've not come across Winnie the Witch before, it is just one of my favourite books as a child. And I absolutely love the characters in this story. So we've got Winnie the Witch, the main character, and her little loyal cat, Wilbur. But yeah, I loved, as a child, looking at the illustrations in this book. I think it definitely set off a bit of like a gothic side within me when I was little. And I just was fascinated as a child. I would like look through the rooms and all the tiny little things. It's just so detailed. The illustrations are beautiful. Winnie the Witch, it's the first story. Winnie Flies Again and Winnie in Winter. First story is all about Winnie the Witch and how her house is so dark. She keeps tripping over her cat Wilbur, and so she turns him bright green. And they are just lovely stories. I highly recommend these books. They are by Valerie Thomas and illustrated by Corky Paul. One of my favourite books as a kid. I then came across some Tintin Stories. Now, when I was little, I remember going to the library and finding Tintin Stories when I was little, and I loved the cartoon style pictures, like the comics. I used to love Tintin. And also when I was little, I remember sitting watching the TV show with my dad on like a Sunday. So Tintin, I have some very fond memories of. My husband is French, so he was brought up with Tintin because I think the guy, Hergé, who created the series is Flemish, he's from Belgium. But it was big in France. Due to the language, it was quite popular in France. So my husband grew up with it. So over here it's Tintin and Snowy. And in French, Tintin et Milou. One of the reasons why I'm trying to get my little boy really into it, because it is bilingual for him. And he actually has a Snowy / Milou soft toy, and that is one of his comforters. So we have quite a strong connection with Tintin. Now, the other thing about Tintin is that I have, as I got older, realised and recognised that they are very racist. They are set in the 1930s, like the 1920s, 30s, I think. And there are words in there that are quite racist, but at the same time, they are very educational. If I do read these with Didier and I come across the language and the names, things like that, I can correct Didier. So yes, good to educate him. Didier is going through a phase of being obsessed with castles. I think this started back in lockdown. We bought him a book to do with castles and we started watching them on YouTube. And then my mum bought him a huge pop-up castle book and we discussed dragons. My mum lives next to an old castle ruin and we talk about dragons there. So I found this book in the charity shop for 75p. And this is by Peter Yarrow, Lenny Lipton, and paintings by Eric Poibaré. I don't know how to say that, sorry. When I was little, that was quite a big thing in Wales, this song. It was quite, I think because our national emblem and flag has a dragon on it. Dragons are quite a big deal in Wales. If you're not familiar with Puff the Magic Dragon song, definitely check it out on YouTube. But this is just a lovely book. It's got the lyrics of the song and some absolutely beautiful pictures in here. So I can't wait to sit and read this with Didier. Next, I bought this one called Whiz Pop Granny Stop. This one was 75p and it's by Tracy Corduroy and Joe Berger, or Berger. I like this one because I haven't read it all the way through yet, but from the first kind of pages, it just got, my granny is quite different. Of that there is no doubt. In a world jam-packed with grannies, you'd always pick her out. And we always joke that my mum is a bit crazy. She's really into making her own clothes and things like that. So she's a bit wacky, she's a bit weird, and I just thought that this was a good book for my little boy to have. His granny is different from all the others, and she'll probably kill me for saying this. Hey mom. But yeah, I thought that was a cute little one. Can't wait to read that with him. Next, I picked up this one from the charity shop, which is 75p. It's called The Lost Penguin, an Oliver and Patch story by Claire Friedman and Kate Hindley. I've definitely seen this illustrator before. I'm assuming Kate Hindley is the illustrator. But I've never come across this series before, an Oliver and Patch story. So I'll have to check those out. But I just thought straight away that the illustrations were beautiful. I'm a sucker for a good illustration. And yeah, I think it's all about the lost penguin at the zoo and they're trying to find the right enclosure. But yeah, I thought the characters looked cute and the illustrations were lovely. So I'll have to read that at some point. Then lastly, from the charity shop, I picked up this book. It is called Alan's Big Scary Teeth, and it was 50p, and it's by Jarvis, whoever that is. I have come across this book before. I work in a nursery, so I do come across my fair share of books, and this one is a fab story. Again, it's full of absolutely beautiful illustrations. As I mentioned, I'm a sucker for beautiful drawings. But this one's really funny. It's by quite an arrogant crocodile and he's got the scariest big bad teeth and everyone in the jungle's scared of him. And it turns out, plot twist, the teeth aren't real. And someone finds them and he loses his fake teeth. And yeah, it's just a lovely, funny little story. My little boy is going to love this. Then after the charity shop, I popped into The Works and they do an offer for mega deal, 10 for £10 mix and match, or 3 for £5 or £2 each. So I picked up this one first of all, called Albert's Tree, and it's by Jenny Desmond. I just really loved the illustrations in this one. That's a running theme. It's all about his tree. He finds out that his tree is crying and he gets really upset and wants to help his tree. That was really cute. We read that the other night. Then I picked up this one, which is called Yucky Worms. And my little boy is going through a bug phase at the moment. He is fascinated with bugs. So I picked up this one, and it is a little bit long-winded for a toddler's attention. He did start to dip in and out of it, but I didn't read all the words through. I just showed him the pictures and just picked up points. But it's just basically all about a little boy and his granny in the garden, and he's quite disgusted by the worms. And then she starts to explain why the worms are good, and then he realizes that he actually really likes them as well. And yeah, it's a really sweet little book, this one. It's called Yucky Worms by Vivian French and illustrated by Jessica Alberg. And then the other one that I bought is called When We Go Camping by Sally Sutton and illustrated by Kat Chapman. I didn't even look at this story, I just picked it up because we are huge fans of camping on this channel. I've got lots of camping videos. I'll link them somewhere up here if you fancy watching our camping vlogs. And yes, I thought anything to do with camping, books, toys, I'm here for it. And yeah, I just thought this was a really sweet book. Again, some lovely illustrations, but it's basically that it is a little song. I do it to the tune of Wheels on the Bus. When we go camping, we bang in the pegs, bang in the pegs. And then it just goes like that all the way through the book. Yeah, and I just like sat with Didier and I discussed what was going on in the pictures. And we talked about when we'll go camping next. I am always here for anything camping related. So I don't think I mentioned, but in the works, I did pick up the 10 for 10 deal. So these were the first 3 books I picked up. And then I think I finished my collection of all the Harry McCleary books. I've got 2 upstairs already from a charity shop that my mum very kindly gave to us. And I found the rest. I picked up 7 more. So I think we've got them all now. I'm not sure, I do need to check. But we've got Harry McCleary's Shoe, Harry McCleary's Hat Tricks, the original Harry McCleary's from Donaldson Dairy, Harry McCleary's Scatter Cat, Harry McCleary's Bone, Harry McCleary's Sit, and Harry McCleary's Show Business. So yeah, and I think upstairs we've got Harry McCleary's Catawalk Caper and Harry McCleary Goes to the Vet. So I think that's all of them. I'll have a double check online, but I was so happy to find all of those essentially for £1 each. Along with the other 3. Very happy to fill out that collection. We are huge fans of Harry McCleary. Again, a childhood classic from when I was a child. They are by Linley Dodd, fantastic illustrations, and the characters are just my favourite. And last but not least, just one book that I bought off of eBay. I realised that I didn't have it in my collection, and it is one of my favourite books. At work, when I work with the children, this is one of the books I always gravitate towards because it is one of my favourites. Panda's Surprise. I've been keeping my eye out for it in charity shops and just couldn't track it down. So I think I found it for about £2.50 on eBay, and I was like, it's got to come home. But if you're not familiar with Panda's Surprise, it is by Eileen Brown. Yes, Eileen Brown. And it's all about the little girl in Africa, and she fills the fruit basket with fruit to take to her friend Akeo. And as she travels through the African plains, all the cheeky animals steal the fruit out of the basket, and something else happens and another fruit lands into the basket, and it's her friend's favourite fruit. And it's just such a sweet little story, and I cannot wait to start like drip feeding my child with this different like culture. I think books are an excellent way to help children realise like their communities and the world around them. I cannot wait to get all the other books from Handa's, what's the other one, there's like Handa's Hen. I'm sure there's a few more, but yeah, I definitely need to pick those ones up. And there we have it. That's all my books. I am very, very happy with that collection, in case you couldn't tell. It actually makes me quite emotional. I'm getting all the books from when I was a child, and now I'm reading them to my children. It's very surreal. I'm so excited to share like those characters and stories with my two. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would absolutely love to have you here as a viewer. Please consider subscribing. I have now changed my content schedule and I am posting videos every Thursday at 7 p.m. I would love to have you here. Please leave any comments down below. Let me know your children's favourite books or any of your favourite childhood books from when you were little down in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!